testing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Howdy, everyone. I hope you're all having a fantastic afternoon. It is Sunday afternoon where I am, so of course, I know time is different for other people, but hey, welcome. Hope you all have a fantastic Sunday. Now, I'm sorry if the audio is terrible. I mistakenly thought I was live streaming, but instead I actually clicked the record button. I'm so silly. Let me hear this. Sunday. Now, I'm sorry if the audio is terrible. I mistaken. Okay, I think the audio is good. Alright then. Now, I hope you're all having a fantastic. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I know today is still one more day, but obviously tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow is actually a holiday if you are South African. I don't know about internationally, but I do know that in my country it is Human Rights Day. That's right. Okay, another holiday. Now, I don't really have holidays because I'm always at home. But anyways, today I want to talk about something I written on my post. If you read my post, which I've posted, it's still up there. It's my recent post currently as of, speaking of this live stream. Uh, Currently, it is my recent post. Now, I will open the post up and read it for you if you have not seen it or you can't find it if you're watching this in the future. But let me just find my channel. There we go. There we go. Okay. Maybe I should dress up for this video, but then it'll be so hot. I normally always wear the jersey every time I'm dressing up. But anyways, okay, I did take a couple more pictures, well, a video a couple days ago. But what I need to do from that video is screenshot some images for thumbnails. I found the most naughtiest picture ever, but I know for a fact it would never pass on YouTube. I'm not joking. It's basically me sitting down, but obviously, I'm wearing underwear. That's basically it. It sounds normal. Sounds normal, but YouTube won't like that. Okay. I do have comments. I will read the comments, but first, let's dive into this. Around 2013, I was inspired to become an animator. Early 2014 came and I asked my mother to buy a ream of paper. Now, I remember this clearly. I remember asking my mother. In fact, I think I gave her money. I think like 50 rands, which is equivalent to, well, now it's possibly equivalent to like $2 or $3, but still. I then drew a few characters. My drawing sucked back then, but I always had an idea of the characters in mind. Now, I created a couple of strange characters. They were really awesome, really cool. I would always think of the scenarios of the characters talking and fighting. I would basically imagine the scenes because obviously as an animator you have to draw it down. But when I was drawing it, the issue was that it never really came out the same way from my head. Now I do have a much more better way of drawing, but it's not so close to my head. Maybe it's slightly close, but not as close as anything. Okay, but back in the day, it was so far from my head. What I would think of my characters, how they would look like, would not look the same on my drawings. They would look totally different. Months passed and I had one final thought of the story. Let's call it the code name Project Poison. After I told myself that I would work on this idea some other time. Now, basically, I'm not going to give the full name because obviously I'm still working on the name. But obviously, I do have a proper name for it. But for now, to discuss this idea so you know what I'm talking about, we are going to call this Project Poison. Now, obviously, it's just a code name, But anyways, moving on. Years passed and I had plenty of my own fun concepts in mind. Now, basically, as the years went by, I put Project Poison aside and I focused on other characters in mind. I created a plethora of characters and I also drew a couple of interesting characters. And when I was a kid, I would love playing with my toys. Love playing with my teddy bears. I had different types of teddy bears from different animal types and stuff like that. I had so many. And every day I would come back from school and play. I would play, 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 play. And obviously, I would mix them up with different toys and have a cool adventure. And it was fun. It was really fun. And I would take some of these characters from my teddy bears and kind of project them on my work. So I made a lot of concepts. December 2017 came and I got inspired by the animation quality of Attack on Titan. This was the first time I actually watched Attack on Titan, by the way. I want to put that out there. Now, Attack on Titan, no spoilers, it is such a good anime if you're watching it, but if you want to read the manga, go for it. But, the anime is really good as well. Like the animation quality is good. Maybe, you know, there might be some debates on that, but still, I think it was great, especially the early seasons. The animation was superb. And I watched it for the first time back late 2017. Why did I watch it? I forgot to mention this, but basically, I had the chicken pox. What do you call it? Chicken pox? I had the chicken pox. You can't do anything. Obviously, I never finished my exams, so I had to stay at home. And obviously, I had to stay inside my room, quarantine. I was quarantining before it became cool. And as I was doing so, I had nothing to do but watch stuff. So I was watching Attack on Titan. And yeah, it was a strange situation, covered with chicken pox, and you're watching Attack on Titan. But obviously, it was healing, and then I do have marks. I still have some of those lumps on my head. It hurts when I scratch. But anyways, uh, moving on. I watched it. It was so cool, and then I decided, you know what? I want my animation for Project Poison to be exactly like that. Now, as the years went by, the quality and the idea of my animation for Project Poison did change. It did change. It did change overall. So yeah, from having such cool quality, I wanted to have something a bit more rough, something that's a bit more sketchy, like I don't have an issue with neatness. I'm not a neat person myself. I've been always ridiculed for having untidy handwriting, but when it comes to drawings, obviously certain things have to be neat. But then I realized that for specifically Project Poison, I want the art style of the characters to be a bit untidy because it suits some of the characters. It just makes sense, you know? I wanted it to match certain type of characters. So since I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I made a big mistake doing. I was gonna put going. Since I was going to be at home from now on, I took the liberty to take my time and think of focusing on Project Poison. So yeah, 2018 came and I drew a lot of my characters, but they did not look how I imagined them. They were still, not really meeting how I imagined them, but that was fine. I decided to roll with it and just say, okay, this is how the characters will look. Time passes, and I kept getting new ideas, and I had a brilliant thought. How about I connect all these ideas with Project Poison, so that way people can easily get interested in my other works? And that was the main reason why I wanted to have a big universe that's connected, you know, uh, because I had a feeling that if I make a show about Project Poison, but I also make a show about something else, which I had plenty of ideas of, you know, how would I get, people to like both? Obviously, people won't like both depending on the genre, obviously, but there will be people out there who would like to watch it, but what if they are afraid? What if they're afraid of trying it out? Because, it'll be very different, obviously. So if you connect it together, then no one will have an issue. So I connected the timelines together, you know. Uh, I had plenty of concepts, but mid 2018, I wrote a few scripts for around 5 episodes. The scripts were short, but it was fine. You see, during 2018, I was going through a phase, a atheist phase, so my thoughts were projected a lot of my work. Project Poison had a theme about God and religion, and I forgot to mention this, but that theme stayed. That theme stayed in my works. Okay, Project Poison, even though I don't talk too much about it, like it had a big impact on the rest of my work because I was shoving up my own nonsense in my own ideas, and all of a sudden, uh, some of those were interesting concepts. Regardless of the phase, some of them were really interesting concepts. Soon after, I told my brother about this. Now he's the co-creator of the brand we are working on. And I didn't want this. My idea was heavily political. And I mean political, I mean so political. It was so political. Like, there was so much of, like, political nonsense in it. Uh, we almost had a falling out. And yes, we almost had a falling out. Trust me, my concepts for Project Poison was filled with politics. It wasn't left versus right, because I never understood that back then, but it was more of a hate thing. It felt like it was mostly targeting people. That's what it felt like. It never felt like there was actually some fun stuff in it. It just felt like a bunch of your feelings being poured down in the show, but you're not putting it properly. You're just using it to attack people, you know? Um, and it also had a lot of wokeness into it, but my brother didn't know about that. Yeah, he didn't know about the wokeness, but there was so much of wokeness. I have a lot of stuff from old concepts. It was all about wokeness. It was about wokeness. Let me give you an idea. There was a lot of scenes about anti-gay marriage and pro-gay marriage. Yes, I'm not joking. It's supposed to be there. You may be thinking that's crazy. That really is crazy. Well, no, I'm not crazy. It's just how it's supposed to be. Uh, After I told him I'll take the politics out of it. Okay, after that I told him I'll take the politics out of it. It was then late 2018. The year for me was mostly eventful. Was the most eventful. I experienced so much pain and pleasure in one year. I'm not joking. 2018 was the year that was filled with so much of craziness. That's just for me. Because obviously everyone's year, it's always different. Like, my 2019 was very peaceful, but I'm sure someone's 2019 must be very painful or very eventful. My 2018 was so long. The amount of things in 2018, it feels like you can divide that into its own year, because into its every own year, because I had so much of events in 2018. The year felt like it was so crazy. 2018 will always be that year I will remember as the craziest year of my life. I wrote a big timeline about these events happening every few years or so. From the past to the present of Project Poison, the timeline was good and I kept it. I had more new concepts for Project Poison and took out a lot of sums that didn't fit. There were plenty of concepts for the series, so much concepts were removed, but every time I thought about different arcs, only a few aspects will stay, such as power concepts and characters. 2019 came and I kept thinking of how to work with this idea. It was around April, maybe even earlier, when I finally got my almost perfect concept for Project Poison. Now, I kept thinking, how do I do this? How do I do this? Because you see the 2018 version. It took place. It started. Okay, early 2018 version. It started when the main character and the rest of his pals were old. They were like old, and that's it. But then I thought to myself, how about this? How about I make the characters a bit younger, so we can show them doing things, and that was perfect. I thought at first it wouldn't make sense, but it did make sense, because you need to understand that when you're working with characters, especially you want to have a good tale, sometimes it's best to work with young characters. Maybe that's just me, but it's much more fun. Working with old characters, yes, it's cool, but then the old characters have a lot of experience, on the early 2018 concept, the characters already knew each other, there was no meeting every other character or whatever, or anything like that, the world already felt established without letting the audience know the world is established. It's kind of crazy, honestly. I felt happy with it and kept thinking about how the series will go about. Then obviously I forgot to mention this in the same text, in the same post, but basically I think even before late 2019 I sat down. I think it was during the time I was working with Flowers Are the Beauty, around like August, September or something like that. I wrote an entire list of all the arcs in the series, well, all the arcs I wanted to see. And I just kept taking a few in late 2019. We had no internet for weeks, so I had nothing else to do but write. So I wrote a short description of every episode for the series and stopped at a certain point. Even last year, I had a clear idea of the ending, but certain things did not feel right. Exactly. There were certain plot holes, certain connections that did not feel right, and I was kind of annoyed. I was very annoyed. So I'm deciding to work on one more final rewrite. I was a bit scared to start again, for I planned so much. But if I want this Project Poison to be good, then I must do a rewrite. Don't worry, I will follow on that late 2018 timeline, maybe change a few certain things, will keep many ideas of other concepts, but I will try to make sure it makes sense to me and no plot holes anywhere. I want the story to be complicated as well, but what I was planning, only a few storylines broke the entire series, and that's why I must do a rewrite. Don't worry, this won't impact my books or other projects. This will be done in the background. Thanks for reading. Bye. Now let's read the comments. Let's read the comments. But I just want to say that I've been working on this for years. For years, okay? For years. And it's been kind of amazing just to continue to work on this idea. I'm glad I never gave up on this idea, nor did I forget about this idea. I always thought in my head when I was a kid that one day I will work on this idea in the future, and here I am working on it. So let's read the comments. Okay. But I'm just saying, I want to work on it. Okay, let me charge this just in case before it goes. Because sometimes you don't even know when the battery flies by. But yes, it's been an eventful work. The amount of characters I created, the amount of characters I had to take out, certain times I kept a lot of the characters, but obviously, as I worked with new characters, the older concept characters, the old main concept characters, started to become more and more to the background, which I did not like. Very interesting. Okay. Sounds like you have invested a lot of yourself into this. That's great. I bet you would find a career in this. Just gotta get your name out there. Keep doing the good work, Chica. Thank you so much. Uh, I've been working on this for years, and I'm very passionate about this because I was able to connect so much to this one story. And not only that, but this story, a lot of interesting tales happen, a lot of main events happen, so it felt like, if you connect everything together, it'll just be perfect. It'll be perfect in some way, you know? Now, obviously, I have to start with a rewrite. Now, I do have the previous scripts, the previous stuff, previous timeline concepts, and everything like that. I'm going to take whatever I can, shove it in, and let's just see what I can do. Let's just see what I can do. Because when it came to my other concept, I can't show it. I cannot show all of my writing because it's supposed to be private. But let me just use this. Nothing here, right? Okay. Just ignore that. Okay. Okay, so for example, hope you can see this. Let me change the font size. As you can see with Project Poison, there were quite a few arcs. The first arc was pretty good. The second arc was pretty good. Like I think there were like 9 arcs I've written so far. There were like 9 arcs. But however, I've only stopped till the 4th arc because, well, no. When it comes to remembering the arcs, I've only stopped till the 4th because after the 4th one, it's very hard to remember what I've written. There's supposed to be more than 9 arcs, if not maybe close to 20 arcs. But the fact that, I've written like around 9 or maybe more, but still, I can't remember the basic stuff after the 4th arc because the 4th arc was so memorable. It has a certain few scenes, a certain few scenarios from the 2018 concept, a concept that I kept trying to bring from every single version of Project Poison. I kept trying to bring this specific arc, this specific scene from different versions, trying to make sure that some of it stays. I have a lot of rewriting to do. Now, the story is going to be long. Now, I want to make this very clear. I want to make it very clear. It is going to be very long, okay? Bit bigger. Long. It is going to be long. Now, what does that mean? Why is it going to be long? For example, I want to tell more of the characters. The main characters need to have their own little arcs because there's so much of main characters. Even though the protagonist, it's all about him, obviously there are other characters around him that has to be having their stories told. So it's going to be pretty long. So my main focus should be let's just say 28. I just had 28. Should be the main protagonist, the secondary protagonist, the characters around him because they are pretty important just like him, but he is a bit more important, so yeah. Let me just close this tab. He is a bit more important. So, no, not secondary, I would say second main characters. Basically, they're not as super important as the main, but it's best for the stories to be told. It's part of the plot, you know. It has to move the must move forward. It must move forward. It must move forward. And even if it stays a bit, it should be the characters getting more stronger and better. The characters should at least grow. Characters must grow. Not in a physical sense, but maybe in a strength-wise sense. What else? You know, the one thing I feel like I had a problem with is I wanted plenty of characters from the older concepts. Many of those characters felt like main characters, but as the different concepts came, different versions came. Many of those said characters were pushed to the sideline. They were brought in. Many of them were brought in from 2018 and stuff, but obviously they were pushed back, very back. Okay, hold on, just a minute. All right. Sorry about that. I do not like sitting on my chair. I really don't. It's so uncomfortable. But anyways, so a lot of things must be my main focus. It is going to be long. I'm not going to get rid of that. I'm not going to shorten things up. Maybe certain battle scenes. Speaking of battle scenes, it is going to be an action series. It is going to be an action series. So I hope people really enjoy it. Now, my main problem is, obviously, how should I go about this? How should I really go about this? Because I really want this to be pretty fun, pretty amazing. And as I worked over the different versions, the one thing I've always ignored is the main protagonist. I've always ignored the main protagonist. I've always ignored him. I've always did that. And obviously you may be thinking, why did I do it? It wasn't on purpose. I've been focusing so much on other stuff that there's barely room or barely time for me to talk about the main character. And the main character, obviously, it's about him, obviously, so it has to be more about him. It should be more about the character, and what happens if the character isn't there, how the other characters react, stuff like that, I really want it to be pretty good. But obviously, it's like there's so much to add in. There's so much to add in sometimes. You don't know what to add. You don't know what to take out. So, okay, what should be added in? For starters, obviously, main arcs, obviously. I'm sorry if you can't see it. This just thing doesn't want to. Every time it changes back to 11. Okay. See again. Main arcs. Also, I would say. The certain parts I would like, to. I don't know. I really don't know. This is very difficult. Very difficult indeed. Now, what's the concept? This is supposed to be an episodic series, but unfortunately, currently, I don't really know if I can do it because it'll take so much time off my hands. It'll be impossible. I'm not saying I won't do it in the future. I would like to do it, but I can't do it right now, I really can't do it. So the best thing for me to do, I've mentioned this in the past as well, is to put it in a visual novel format. Now, even though I'm not going to be using the visual novel format, I'm going to be using the comic book format. You may be thinking, why? Why am I using a comic book format? Number one, even though I went back to back about this to myself, I kept arguing with myself. Yes, I do that a lot, but I kept thinking, you know what? Maybe I should put it in a visual novel. It'll make my work much easier. But then it's best to put it in a comic because it's much more easy to adapt, So a comic book will be much better. Now I've seen, hold on, where is it? Here we go. Ta-da! This is a fantastic website. This website is obviously a South African website, but the type of books they make, it's insane. They have different types of books, which is cool. You have the hardcovers. I would like to make certain other types of comics into hardcovers, but obviously those type of comics have to be much more smaller in story, or they come out every few weeks or every few months. You can't really have those type of books out that look so fancy. Now obviously, as you can see, there's so much of information on your screen. This is the site I will be using for printing. I never tested it out yet, but obviously I will in the future, probably for physical copies. So you can also print magazine style. So when it comes to Project Poison, I will be drawing it on a magazine style. You may be thinking, why? Well, I assume it's more cheaper. I don't really recall the price, but as you can see, for starters, it's much more thin. That's a good thing. Number two, I can make much more of it. Number three, it'll be much more easier to ship. Number four, I feel like it'll be perfect. You can have staple, or you can have stuff like this. Okay. Pricing calculator. Okay, now this is the pricing calculator. Okay, it looks a bit more expensive. Okay. From 40 to 300 pages. I don't know how they work with it. Is it 98 rands for 20, or is it 98 rands for 1? What does unit cost mean? I'm gonna Google search this. Okay, I'm gonna Google Google search this. I hope it's cheap, because Project Poison is a long story. The unit cost is pricing and occurring by a company to produce, store, and sell one unit of a particular product. Unit costs include all fixed costs and variable costs involved in production. Cost unit is a form of measurement of volume of production. Okay, that means it's all. I should do more research on this later. Okay, let's just see if it changes. Let's just say 50. 50 copies. No lamination, obviously not. Nothing changes. Okay, let's see calculate. Oh, it's much cheaper now. Oh my god, look at the price total for all. Holy crap. So this is one at a time. Holy crap. I think my comics will be perfect as A4, but A5 is a standard for many comics, you know. I mean, it's much cheaper. Look at that. Like I'm spending 2K on that, but if I'm going to print, let's just say 500, I'm scared. I'm scared to look at the price. I'm literally blocking it with my hands. Holy crap. I'm going to pay this much, this much, this much, this much for all 500. For all 500. Holy crap. I didn't notice this before. I thought this was the price of them. Oh my goodness. That's a bit expensive. Don't you think so? I mean, this is a bit cheap, but holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. Okay, let's just see. Now, when it comes to magazines, obviously I've read a couple, I've seen a couple, mostly for schoolwork, but of course, it doesn't matter if it's lamination or not. But then I want it to last pretty long, or else people will want more multiple copies, So the best thing to do is like gloss lamination. How much will that be? Oh crap, look at the price on that. Now I won't. Okay, let's check the books. Let's just check if we can make the books instead. Like, don't get me wrong. I expected it to be a bit more. I expected it to be a bit more cheaper, but let's just see the books. Let's just see the book format, and let's just see if it's perfect. If it's more cheaper. I don't want the books to be so fancy. I don't mind even if it's a soft cover book. Some of my comics I want it to be hardcover, but my other books, like Project Poison, I want it to be more thin because obviously, I want it to be a bit more cheaper. But of course, let's just see 40 pages, copy is 25. It doesn't tell. That's the sad part. It does not tell how much. It doesn't tell. That's the annoying part. You have to do the calculations on your own, which sucks. It tells me for the magazines, but it doesn't tell me for anything else. Okay, you gotta contact them if I want to print 500 copies. Holy moly. Like, here's the thing. It is expensive. But it's better to self-publish. You need to understand one thing. Because there are plenty of book companies out there. Perfect companies. The problem is, what if they have all more control of your work than you have of your own work? It's best to be more reliant. Now, I'll just print a couple of physical copies, and the rest will be sold digitally. I think that'll be perfect. A lot of people will love that, and I'm sure I'll get a large amount of people. Okay, which is A5? All of them look A5. Holy moly. Okay, I think this is A5. They don't even tell me. So it's pretty. All of them are like pretty cheap, to be fair, like standard price. But with color, 73. That's almost like 75 rands, which is insane. Absolutely certifiably insane. Okay, and that's just with white coats. 115 GSM. They don't tell me. That's this annoying part. They don't tell me anything. You can add barcodes to it. You can add other stuff to it, but you need like so much of it, so much of stuff. They don't tell me. They don't tell me anything about the price. Okay. So this is how the cream page looks. Now, I don't think people have a problem. I mean, white text page will look like this, which is totally fine. But what about colored? I don't know. I think it'll look totally fine. I think cream is good. It feels good. Have you ever felt a cream page book? It feels good. But obviously, it's like, holy crap, you need a lot of stuff for it. Like, the cool thing about the sites is that, they have so much more, like, options. You can choose the type of books. Okay. You can also sell the books on their store, but I want to sell it also out and about as well, because I don't think these people will deliver. I don't think they will deliver other countries. So yeah, I have to do that on my own. Maybe I have to sell like 1,000 copies, which will be insane. Okay, copies. Let's just see. Okay, let's just see 200. Okay, the price of. Okay, it's much more cheaper when you have like more copies, which is a good thing. But don't tell me the final product. I have to do it on my own. Calculator, please. Calculator. I hate this. Like the magazine, they can tell me totally fine. Both of them are different formats. I need to know. Okay, almost like let's just say 30 rand altogether. Let's convert it to 30. Okay, okay, 29. Okay, 29. 29. Okay, 2,900. Okay, okay. 29 times 200. I don't even want to see the answer. I'm spending this much. This much. I'm gonna spend this much on just physical copies. On physical copies. But that's just for 40 pages. Okay, let's just see if it's. Okay, let's just see 100 pages. Oh, look, 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 look. What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? 40. Oh, okay, so it increased. No, in fact, no. I'm not going to use black and white. Well, for novels, yes, but look at this. That's the sad part. Is there any other book company that would be perfect to sell? Now, you can sell your books over here, but they don't ship worldwide. That's the sad part. Like, should I even ask them? Should I ask them a question? Do they ship worldwide? We manage the admin, prints, and logistics, and keep more money with the author. Make a book, okay. Let's have a book work, okay. When completing our documentation, you'll describe, okay. They don't tell the selling price, our fees. Example, selling price 200 rands. Okay. I only get like 100 rand profit. Okay. In fact, oh my goodness, look at this. Uh, okay, so I make 69 if I sell over you know, promote your book. The saddest thing is I don't even know if they sell worldwide because I know I have a big audience who's worldwide. What about paperback? Paperback. I heard something about paperback. I don't know if that's like a company or something. I don't know. I don't know. This is the best part about having a company, but that's also the worst part. Is because they can freaking take most of the money away. You end up with nothing. I want to sell my book, which will be perfect, but no one's gonna buy it. No one's gonna buy it. I have an audience outside, okay? An outside audience. Logistics. I wish okay, pricing, okay. Anything about shipping. Okay, let's just see delivery. I hope it's worldwide. I doubt it's worldwide. I don't think they do worldwide. Okay. 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 I'm kind of confused because I don't understand. Okay. Free. Okay, you can collect from the offices next working day. Like, here's the thing. Most people in my own country don't even know about me. Most of my audiences. Okay, wait. Most of my audiences are basically, from another country. I have to find a way to make sure that they get that, they get that. So, but I want to keep my own money. So, like, physical copies will have to wait, I guess, you know? I don't know. All right, let's just buy something and let's just see if you can ship to a different country. Okay, gift voucher. Let's just see gift. Oh no, you gave that on the email. It's my bad. Is there any way to like in them or anything like that? Kind of doubts. Yeah, I think it's gonna be impossible to sell my books. Because I mean that felt like the most fun part because you don't have to worry about the delivery. But the sad part is, who's gonna buy it? Who's gonna buy it? Who is going to buy it? I don't know. No, I feel really bad. You know, I feel very, very bad. I have to find a way to get it out there. I have a lot of digging around. Okay, a lot of digging around. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Wait, this bubble. They handled the logistics, they said. I don't think they'll handle the logistics so far. I don't know what they're talking about. I just hope they can ship worldwide. That eases the pain of something at least. Because if then they don't, then I'll have to do that. Delivery pricing. Contact us. Okay. I don't think they shop worldwide. Give worldwide pricing. You gotta do all these Google searches, and for what? You barely get any of the results. Okay. It's like you can't print it out. If you're printing out like novels, I don't think you should be using this, I guess. Maybe there's another place to print it, but I want to keep my money. I want to keep my money. I want to use local. Okay, what does this mean? I don't know. Definition. I don't get it. Remote from a center or main body. Okay. So basically, I don't even think it's, okay. Yeah, I don't think it goes worldwide. I don't think it goes worldwide. So, unfortunately, I'm sorry. It'll seem like a perfect place, to be fair, but I'm so sorry. I have to find another site. What is paperback? Paperback. Waifu back. Okay. This afternoon is getting very technical. No? Barnes and Noble. I don't know about them. I don't know if they're woke or not. Book companies. I want to find something local. You may be thinking, why? I mean, To be fair, I want to help I want to help local, But at the same time, I hope it's cheap. Affordable book printing. Okay, from Joburg. I'm not a big fan of Joburg. It's too popular. Uh, but of course, sometimes you have no issue with that. Okay, okay. High quality textbook, textbook. I'm not writing for schools, but of course, my books might look like this. But no, I want my books to look like a storybook. I demand book printing. Choose us for your books. Around the globe, book printing. Okay, okay, okay. Hardcover. Okay, case bound book. What does that mean? Perfect bound book. Children's book printing. Oh, okay, that's good. Oh, they have stitch book. Okay, that's good. I want a stitch book. I want a couple of my books to be stitch books. Stitch books. Invoice book. Okay. Can I have like a couple of examples? Can I have a couple of examples? Uh, is there no examples? Is there no examples whatsoever? Come on, man. I want to see some examples. I don't want to see shots. I just want to see some examples. Okay. I don't know, but I'll keep them in mind, in the future. You got to email them first. So, yeah, if you look at the books carefully, I do want a stitched book for some of my work. I hope it's cheap as well. I really hope so. And Project Poison is going to be a very big series, so you want it to be very cheap, cheaply made. So a lot of people can get it. But I want to have control of my own books, because I know the sales. Am I making sense? I hope so, because the problem is, if I have like a bigger company printing it out for me, I don't think I'll reap the benefits. So unfortunately, why is it always Johannesburg? Okay. Uh, 50 years. Okay. CTP. I think that's Cape Town. Oh, I have a problem. My desk is getting cracked. I'm not making this up. I wish I can show you. The desk is literally in F. I don't want to move it, but it's been in off for some time. As a leading producer of books in South Africa, we produce books that people love to read. But can you ship it to me? Do you have to ship it to yourselves? How does it work? Okay, commercial products. Okay, magazines. Close, please. Okay, magazines. Okay, we offer clients a fully integrated solution from digital receipts of artwork through the mailing and distribution services. Okay. Uh, Obviously in Cape Town. Obviously. Okay, I'm pretty hungry. I don't even know what to eat. I had a couple of biscuits earlier. I know this video is gonna be so long to watch, but I'm so sorry. I have to end it pretty soon. Let me do some research with y'all. Whoa, look at that fancy technology. Look at that. What is that? Why are there blocks everywhere? That's just CGI. Okay, okay. I don't get why they put all the blocks everywhere. Like, come on, man. Okay. Style, softcover, hardcover. Okay. Education, novels, map and guides, leisure books, special interest books. Okay. Printable capabilities. Okay. Binding, thread sewing, wire, spiral. Wiro. Is that wiro? What is wiro? Spiral binding. I think I have a book like that. Finishes die cutting, embossing, debossing, foiling, laminating, varnish. Okay. But everything you gotta have like some kind of thing, I guess. But what about magazines? Will it be cheap? I want it to be cheap. Hit me on the head over the price expensive. but I want something to be, you know, tickle my wallet cheap, you know? Okay. An automated mailing equipment inserts flyers into magazines. Like, it's not gonna work when it comes to South Africa, unfortunately, because most of my audience is around the world. But that's a good gesture. Okay. Commercial products. Can they make me a couple of promotions for my work? That'll be good, you know? To be fair, in the future, I would like to have a lot of commercial products. What does that? What does this mean? Leaflets, production, telephone, annual, newspapers, calendars. I think calendars will be perfect as promotions. Desk pads and desk calendars. Okay. Okie dokie. It's been a pleasure on this stream. I hope you all have a fantastic